Hey guys, this is another episode of Today's Tomorrow, where we educate, talk, and listen. I'm Gest.
And I'm Matthew.
And this is Today's Tomorrow. So it's been a little bit, Matt. It's been a little bit.
It's always been a little bit.
Yes. So we are on site. We're not actually recording with our regular recording equipment. But we're recording with the MacBook Pro, the Rode mics, and we just got some good shit.
Well, you got some good shit.
Something's better than nothing. So, use what you got, right?
Yeah, you buy the toys. I just get to use them. I like this relationship.
Right? I feel like that's everywhere. So today we're going to be talking about camping, RVing, the life, things what to do, what not to do, and what I've done and what you should not do what I've done. We could talk about my first experience dumping my black tank, just to get that out of the way. That was interesting. That was
what happened,
a
Jess?
shitty situation I got myself into, no pun intended.
No, it was messy. It was dirty.
It was.
What did you ever do with those clothes? Did you end up burning them?
I don't have them anymore.
Well, maybe you should tell the listeners the story.
Oh, so what happened was I had to drain my tank, and people who have campers that have black and gray tanks, you know what I'm talking about.
Well, but there might be some people who don't know, and so a black tank in an RV, right? Black is bad. That's where all your waste goes.
Your poop.
Yes. Your urine and fecal matter.
And gray water's just like from the shower, the sink, and
correct,
everything like that. So I was draining. I was doing really good. I was on a roll, and take it over my honey wagon, since we're not moving our campers to trailer tanks, and I did the unforgivable. And instead of listening to Matt and putting my cap on my hose, I decided to swing it into my face, and I got a mouthful of shit. And all over me, my face, my shirt, my pants, my shoes, my socks, my leg.
From my point of view, you had the hose connect, and I think you were trying to put it back together, or you were holding it up.
I pulled it off the bed of the truck.
Oh,
and it swung and...
Oh, it straight did like a little elephant nose kind of swan dive thing. And
it did.
As the bottom passed you and came back up, it was remaining contents.
It was a learning lesson. It was a learning lesson that I
seem to recall a burning sensation.
That shit burned, dude.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. It burned my face.
Well, we put pods in there too.
Yeah, the pods. They're there for breaking down the shit and the solids inside your black tank. So
yes,
it's
hardcore chemicals.
Yeah, and they don't work very good with skin or your mouth. They don't taste good.
Yeah, no, there's major warning labels on there.
There's warning labels on Tide Pods, and kids did ignore those.
Yeah, it's a little softer. It's a little easier to chew.
Not
that I know.
Not that I intentionally did this. It was...
You licked it, didn't you?
It was neglect. It was neglect on my part, not paying attention.
Uh-oh.
I knew better. Not the Tide Pod.
Oh.
I don't eat Tide Pods.
Are you sure? It would explain a lot.
That was a generation after me.
So much.
But, that was... It was an experience, and it's a fun story to tell. I'm stupid. We all know this. Everybody knows me. I have my moments and my times. So... Yep, it splat me all over my clothes, and I just kind of kept going. I was like, there's no point to quit now. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're a trooper. And you were a good sport about it. You just laughed it off.
Well, there's nothing I could do about it.
Yeah.
Well, live with it.
You could have laughed at it or been angry.
Well, see, I've had another shitty experience when we were in Iraq, and I went to go jump over, so they don't have toilets in Iraq. Well, they do, but some don't in some villages, and they just got this little creek things that run along. We have sewers. They have little creeks right next to their roads.
Sure.
Shit creeks. And I went to go leap over one, and I missed.
Oh, you jumped in. You were literally up shit creek without a paddle.
I was.
Nice.
So, I mean, it wasn't my first time in a shitty situation.
Hey, but we're good with them honey wagons now.
Yeah, no, I'm a mastermind of the shit wagon. But, so we've been camping. I spent my whole summer camping, really.
Yeah.
I went out to South Dakota to see Mount Rushmore again. Not my first time, but
Beautiful.
took my kid out there. We used my Pathway camper that we talked about in the last episode, and had fun with that. And I really don't have to go over that, because if you just listen to our last episode, you'll know all about the trip. And Pathway Campers, great company. They have some new campers coming out, like I said last time too. And
all I remember from that story is you love Minnesota.
Oh,
love Minnesota.
I don't like Minnesota. I mean, they got some nice people there. The people are pretty good. The weather, the ticks, the mosquitoes, the rain, the mud. No.
Yeah, I remember when you came back, your dog dropped a tick the size of a grape, and I stepped on it with my bare heel, and I was just like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, no, that was
messy. That was nasty. Oh.
Yeah, I don't like ticks.
Just imagine squishing a grape with your heel, but a little harder shell.
Yeah, with a little pop, crackle, snap, or snap, crackle, pop. I mean, it wasn't. It was interesting.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you upgraded from the Pathway.
Well, I didn't upgrade. It's like I still have the Pathway. I use the Pathway. It's waiting to get worked on. Some modifications done to it, but I decided to get another camper for more destination camping or enjoying camping, and not like my Pathway it's for going out. Like, I want to go on a trip and I want to go Mount Rushmore or Yellowstone, or that's what the Pathway's for. I want to go drive up a mountain.
You needed more room.
You're not gonna pull.
And it didn't hurt that your friend got a 27-footer.
It didn't help that he caught a 27-footer. It's not bad. It's a nice camper. So tell me about your camper, Matthew.
Okay, well, I mean, it's a Rockwood Mini Light. It's 8 feet wide. It's 27 feet long with the tongue on there. But 2 slide outs. It's a couples camper. Love it.
Yeah.
So it's got a full queen size bed with a lot of space in the bedroom, wardrobe, corner shower, lots of a lot of RV campers. Like, I don't care what class it is, fifth wheel pull. Well, fifth wheels are always spacious. So maybe with the exception of fifth wheels, the bathrooms are tight, very tight. So this, I'm a big boy, and I mean I can just stretch my legs out, lean back, move both my arms, So, yeah, I don't know. I love it. And then it's got a really nice front kitchen. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's a beautiful small, like, I didn't want anything bigger because I'm just getting started out, so I want to make sure that I stay in my lane. And in fact, we both got seasonal passes to the current campground we're at. I mean, you were ready to go, but I'm a little timid about these things, and this is what we're probably going to get into is there's definitely a learning curve with these. I mean, unless you grew up with them and, whatever, the inside and out. But at some point you have to learn this stuff. And so in my case, I sold my house in April. And then in a month, got myself a truck, an RV camper, and said, I'm done with apartment living. I'm done with home ownership. What a racket.
I won't lie.
But yeah, bought this and I was like, I wanna go see, anybody who's ever not been out of their county or their state, you got to do it. It is such a beautiful country. I have been international as well, but we have so much here in America that is just like, it's awe-inspiring. It's wondrous. It's majestic even. Anybody who's been to Utah, Idaho, I mean, there's so many states we could put on this list. But yeah, I just figured, whenever I get tired of an area, I'll just move on. And I think one of the other cool things about this is you just meet so many people.
You meet a lot of interesting people.
Oh, yeah.
When I was out on my trip in South Dakota, I met a lot of really cool people. I met some people in Minnesota, but I don't like talking about Minnesota.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the weather there. I mean, it's not much different than here, but I didn't have fun. Yeah, so I remember I went with you actually when you were looking at your camper. I remember that, and I pointed at a lot of questions that your sales guy didn't really. He was new.
Well, yeah, I think he'd been working there for a whole 1 week.
He was new. If I would have asked him what color the tire is, he would have had to ask someone else that question.
Well, nah, he was smart enough. He would have looked down, but he was really good about getting detailed answers. And he almost like took my questions like a server would take your order in a restaurant. And that server who has like a fantastic memory, like, I mean, he was good on his follow through.
Yeah, he was.
Again, we all got to start somewhere.
You
right?
got to start somewhere.
Whether it's buying RVs or selling RVs.
Yeah. So and I like your camper. There's been a learning curve you've had.
Oh, I know.
A learning curve of what to do and what not to do.
Yeah. That'll happen.
You've been learning those for me.
Likewise. Who's had the repair guy out here 2 or 3 times already?
Not for things that have broken.
Oh, yeah. It just came that way.
It did. Well, it actually did. But there's always manufacturer flaws. Some people get their campers and they're just happy they have them. They don't pay attention to things that could be wrong. Me, I want to make sure I have everything fixed before my warranty's expired.
Yeah.
And I won't lie, the dealership has been really good. We bought ours from the same company, but different dealerships. Not the same manufacturers, though.
Correct.
We both bought from Coons.
Convoluted, but correct.
We both bought from Coons. You bought from Coons in Sterling, Illinois.
Yep.
And I bought from Coons in Appleton, Wisconsin. And what I think we both learned is Coons in Appleton, Wisconsin is better to work with. More willing to work with their customers post-sale.
Well, look. Okay, we have to give Coons of Sterling a break because my sales guy, he had been there 1 week. The lady was in the service department. I think we met her on her first day.
Yeah.
And then the tech guy I worked with, he was there for just under a year or just over a year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there was a scale. But yeah.
But what I've noticed, the people I worked with weren't the most intelligent people. They would ask others questions and didn't have them.
So where you're going, Gest, is that the repair guy came out for stuff that was a problem off the manufacturing line. Nothing you did.
Yeah.
I, however, for anybody who doesn't know, there's a little known fact that you need to be careful with your awning if you own an RV. It's like one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of people make, and I made it.
You found it.
I did.
You found the don'ts of the
figured
news.
out what all those YouTube videos were about.
Yeah. No,
so
I would always question why is he leaving his awning out?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so whatever. I left it out. I mean, my brother has a camper in the area. He leaves his awning out, but what I didn't know is not all awnings are created equal. And of course, that just makes sense in our market with whatever you buy. There's always low grade, mid grade, and high grade. Well, there's a lot of good stuff on my camper, but the awning was a little cheaped out on. I didn't realize it was just for sunshade. I thought it could handle a spritz. Well, I've got shorter arms on there, so I couldn't pitch it as well, and it collected water, and you can just figure out what happened after that.
Crack, snackle, pop.
That's right. So, but hey, I reeled it in and bent most of it back. I mean, it can go on the road. It's roadworthy.
I would take it on the road. It's what I like about my awning is it has the self-dumping. Water, okay.
Well, that's how that broke.
Yeah.
I was trying to bring that in and let it, do that. Well, like I said, it was pitched, but short arms, little T-Rex arms. So the pitch was maybe just a couple inches. And the fabric is not like a canvas. It is cheap. Like...
It's like a trash bag plastic.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, but hey, great reason to upgrade. So, definitely looking forward to my new Dometic awning.
Yeah, and the domestics are amazing. I love my awning. And
know.
I love watching everybody else get jealous of my awning. It makes me feel better about my purchase.
Right.
But my issues I've had aren't things I've done. They're honestly not really big deals. It's just stupid little things. I had one I thought I had a screw penetrating through, and it turned out some idiot put the back on the wrong way and squished a wire between a stud and the fiberglass, which made it look like there was something going to poke through. So
Right, because you don't want any holes anywhere in your camper. I mean, these things need to be caulked and sealed, and because you get any moisture in between the walls or the flooring or whatever, I mean, that's it. Then your days are numbered.
yeah, I think
It's a downhill battle. So yeah, I mean, instead of it, if it was a screw, it could have popped through or whatever. So,
yeah, 'cause
but luckily, it was just an easy fix.
if it would have popped through, they would have had to replace the whole thing, and that would have well, I mean, not sucked for me, but it would have sucked. And I think I don't think I know for a fact me and the guy working out were both very relieved when we realized what it was. So no, I like your camper. There's things I question about it, but I like it.
Yeah.
You have one other issue.
Don't you need it? What issue's that?
Your fireplace.
Oh well, I think it's just a short. Whatever. I'll get it figured out. It goes, oh yeah, bring it in. I'm like, I'm not hauling this thing 3 hours for you to just connect two friggin' wires. You know, I mean, come on, like.
That's
and then you call your Cunes, and they're like, we'll send a guy to drive 3 hours and just take a look at it. I'm like, what?
Yeah, no, I really like the people I've worked with at Coons. Some of the sales guys at the Coons, I didn't work with them. I think her name was Kim that I worked with, and she was great. Things she didn't know, she would ask. And she was newer, but she was a good person. And but when I ask questions and stuff like that, they don't question me. They just will get it taken care of. And
well, good for you. But anywho, yeah. What are some of those things that I've learned about this? Let's see, levelers for your wheels. Yep, that's important. If you have OCD, it could be tough because your bubbles are never going to be perfect. I mean, maybe if it's a really nice campground and it's level and, they grade it and all that stuff, yeah. But we had a lot of rain.
oh,
So, yeah, the camper listed just a little bit. Whatever. Is what it is. It's still acceptable. But so, yeah, obviously I trashed the front awning, but then I also quickly found out that on my 2 slide outs, so I have awnings over those, and I'm like, this is great. No twigs, no debris. The rain will just run right off. And it's a much smaller surface area, so, and then the material is very taut. Like, the tension's there. But it's trash bag material, so it filled with water, and I noticed one of the neighbors, he has a soccer ball under his awning to pitch it, and so what is it? I went to Walmart, got some
$5
basketballs, and threw them up there. Although I need a third because that one slide out's a little longer. So yeah, if you are gonna leave so we have a seasonal. If you're gonna leave your camper for a week, not that this was planned, but you really need to empty your black tank. Because otherwise it just sits there like a septic tank and breaks down and bloats, and those gases have to go somewhere. Now, I'm lucky. I have a siphon on the top of my trailer, so most of that just gets carried by the wind and little small smells. But there was like a bubble of nasty surrounding my camper. Like you walked into a wall of, and yeah, come to find out, it definitely
it was
cooked. It cooked.
It was concerning. It was like it was like covering up the cap on a Porta-John. And then
like State Fair Porta-John.
And then hopping in there with the vent closed and taking it all in. It was and one that hasn't been cleaned in a minute.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna give it a thorough rinse tomorrow.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what I've learned and what you've learned, and I mean, I watch YouTube. You watch YouTube. Some things you watch campers. Some people watch music, and I watch I don't know why I do it, but I have an addiction to watching YouTubers camp, and I don't really care for like the RV life campers because they're annoying.
Hmm.
I just find them annoying. People like
I think watching people camp is cathartic. You're seeing like this. It's like a visualization of what could be.
yeah,
I mean, we both watched videos before we even bought the campers.
Yeah.
And I mean, RVing is real big these days. I mean, it's everywhere. There's a ton of channels out there. But like, I don't know. It's kind of like the new frontiersman thing. Everything's been discovered, right?
yeah.
I mean, we got a space force now, right? We're leaving the planet.
Well, everything's been discovered, but we haven't discovered it. People around the U.S. haven't discovered. They haven't seen it. Someone else has seen it, but they haven't. And it's
well, and ever since the nice thing too is ever since the pandemic, right? Working remotely got a great boost. Lots of companies, lots of innovators came out with new platforms and technologies to better support working remotely. And I think the appeal to RV living is getting away from the rat race.
yeah.
It's
just being able to move somewhere, and if you're like, you get sick of places sometimes, and it's like having this. You don't have to stay in one place,
right?
And it's like, well, you know what? I'm done with this. Yeah. I'm over this. I'm gonna go see something else.
Or what if you're like working remotely, and then I don't know, you're in Arizona, right? And you're like, what I'm gonna do on my lunch break? Well, I'm gonna go take like an hour-long hike.
Yeah.
And just enjoy the vistas.
So it's I watch the Hanks on YouTube, and a lot of my learning I've done, why I don't make a lot of mistakes with my camper, is I watch their mistakes.
Oh, aren't they the folks that own their mistakes?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of their shtick.
Yeah,
they're like, look at how we screwed up.
Like, don't do what we did. Like, and I watched them, and I'm like, I'm seeing it, and they don't tell you not to do that. You just kind of watch it, and they're like, well, our mistakes cost us this much. I'm like, so I watched them. I'm like, it doesn't look like a good idea. And then they come to find out, like 2 weeks later, like, yeah, it wasn't a good idea. So that's one thing.
Oh, didn't they tell you? I think that's where. So I have my steps. My steps don't fold under my RV. They actually fold up into the RV.
Yes,
They're very sturdy. I really love them. You can give those things a pounding. But when you have them out, they have a bracket that lays over the frame.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to re-level my camper. And in doing so, like if you go the wrong way, that acts like a pry bar, like a crowbar. And apparently you were telling me that people have like ripped their doors off their trailers because they just kept going. And I was just, I'm really glad that I didn't move it much more than.
And I'm glad I caught you.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you doing?
You walked over and you're like, whoa, stop. Well,
I saw someone else screw this up.
Yeah, and then you told me, and I'm like, oh, thank you.
Don't be the Hanks.
Because you like to give advice / tell people what they should be doing.
Well,
so often I'm like, let me do it my way. But no, that one where I was kissing your feet.
It's a lot of things. Like I just paid a lot of attention, and I find it fun to see other people travel the world. Well, currently I can't because I'm waiting on things and stuff like that. Getting things together, and
we have a lot of iron in the fire.
Yeah, well,
but this has been a nice taste of it to see if you really wanted to do it. I mean, that's what your trip out west was with
my onward west trip. It was a fun trip. Me and my kid had a blast, and we were supposed to go back and continue it, but unfortunately, we're just waiting on something to get fixed. So, honestly, it's the stupidest little thing. It's the drawer to the refrigerator, to the Pathway camper that's broken, and our trip. When that broke,
you broke.
I was like, I'm done.
Remember.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm going home. This is it. And then I just packed everything up and I left.
Well, I fought an army of ticks and then got a little further.
Like I was having fun out there.
Had some more problems, yeah.
I was having fun out west, but it was I didn't want to lift the refrigerator out of the back every day.
Yeah.
If I couldn't slide it out, I was like, that refrigerator was.
Well, yeah, you had an injury to contend with too.
Yeah,
and your 7-year-old son is not super strong.
He can't.
He can hit an Xbox button like a
Oh, and
like a pro.
But it's fun because in the pathway there's no TV in there. There's
Right.
no, so it's one with nature. That's what I like about it. You just yeah, I get EC in there. I mean, I get power in that pathway when not everybody does, and I try to help out with the pathway community and the little square drops and teardrop campers and helping out with that stuff. And there's a lot to learn, and it's really fun. And I won't lie, that life is so much funner than a camper, like a RV.
Yeah.
It's just because you're forced to be one with nature and just be out there. My pathway, I sit down, I got a couch, I got a table, I got a bathroom, I got a bedroom, I got a kitchen in here, and it's a lot different than crawling into a bed and then only sleeping.
Did you call this a pathway or Winnebago?
This
You're
is
talking about
Winnebago.
your Winnebago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like this.
I don't know if I misheard you speak but anyways, no, and it's something else that, like you're talking about the getting away, kind of unplugging. Although, I mean, you do have a lot of electronics, which is comforts, but, it only gets you so far because you can't be inside all day. It's not cramped, but it's like, it's not easy to stay inside a camper.
Yeah.
Or get stuck in a camper. And I think what was really remarkable is to see how your son has kind of developed over the last couple of months with all the camping he's done. Because between eating and playing video games, he struggled to get into anything else.
Well, he likes dirt bikes.
Well, right, but Wisconsin, you can't ride dirt bikes all year round, and between his age and location, anyways. But I mean, it was really cool. Like at first, it was rough because he didn't know what he should do. Just go for a walk, and then lo and behold, man, he picks up a stick. He starts using his imagination, and he's playing. And then you're gonna have to, your Keggy Corgi came into the picture.
Yeah, the Keggy Corgi.
Keggy Corgi. It's a Corgi, but Liam just calls it a Keggy Corgi, and it's cute. So that's
no matter how many times you try to correct him, you're the one that's wrong.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. So.
Sounds like a friend of mine.
Yeah. So, but what I did is I got my kid an early birthday present. I got him a Corgi because he's always wanted one. And the timing lined up, and I got him one. So that's also kind of put our trips like on a little back burner. Yeah. So that's why we're more staying here. Besides waiting for the pathway to get worked on.
I still giggle inside when I just remember that your dogs are named Potato and French Fry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you let a child name things, and he does some names for some animals really good, and then some are really make you wonder. I mean, he's like, well, it's potato because you can't have French fries without potatoes. I'm like, true.
Logic works.
True.
But in this case, the French fry came before the potato.
And the full name is French Fried Cheeseburger. So.
Is that actually on his paperwork?
Yeah, it's French Fried Cheeseburger.
His paperwork says French Fried Cheeseburger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I blame the parent.
Well, I mean, what do you want to name him? And he named him, and I mean, I'm like, oh, are you sure? Are you positive? I said, if that's what you want to name him, we'll call him that. But
he was pretty young. How old was he?
He was 2 or 3.
Oh wow.
He's gonna be 8, so he's 3.
Well, then French Fried Cheeseburger is a great name.
Yeah, it was a cute name. The one now, the potato. I mean, he's older, and it was potato, and he had a reason why.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it made sense, but it's a weird name for. I mean, it's a corgi though, so potato kind of fits it. You leave him out in the sun, he becomes a hot potato. But I know the camping life is watching the videos of what the do's and do nots, and everything else that I've learned, being in groups on Facebook,
and knowing your vehicle specs.
Yes, knowing your vehicle specs.
Just this is a special subject for you because I know this bothers you when we maybe like to do our homework a little too much. I think I'm right in the middle. I like to do enough where I'm like, okay, I'm good to go. Like I'm comfortable, and the rest I'll just figure out as problems come up. You have to learn a subject like you are a human encyclopedia on it before you do it, which I appreciate.
I like being very professional.
I can just come over and reference you and be like, Jess, what about this? Yeah, I mean, I think you helped me with some electrical. You've helped me with a lot of little things. I actually cannot enumerate them here, but yeah. Anybody interested in getting an RV? Vehicle first.
It helps you out. It helps you out. Knowing your specs, what you can tow. I honestly recommend get your camper first and your truck later, because you're buying around what you have for a camper. But
That's the cart
maybe,
before the horse.
but well, because if you don't want to have a truck and then get like fall in love with a camper that you can't pull, but you impulse buy something you can't pull, that's a big deal. So
Well, I mean, most people are either going to already have a vehicle, in which case,
hopefully, or assume that their vehicle is capable of something that's not.
right, and
That's
so
a big problem.
You got to start with the vehicle.
Yeah. So,
So-
you got to understand your vehicle. Don't just assume, and don't just. You have to look at things. Open up your door, look at the door well, and look at what your payload is. And there's a lot of numbers you have to take in, because it's not just your payload of your vehicle. It's what
Yeah.
your hitch can handle. It's what's the tongue weight of your camper. What is it loaded? You got to know all these numbers. And I've learned a lot of people don't look into this stuff.
And
they
size and weight of the vehicle towing the RV is very important too, because if you have too light of a car and too big of a trailer, that thing is going to fishtail on you. And I mean, balance too, when you store your stuff and you go on the road. Like, if you don't have it balanced from front to back properly, left to right,
Yeah.
and if your trailer is bigger than the vehicle, I mean, you're going to hit the Great Plains and you're going to be in a world of hurt.
So with my truck, I knew my truck was very capable when I got my truck. My truck is, it's a powerhouse, and it's not a big truck. It's not at all. It's designed for off-roading, but it's very, very capable. And it's funny because my truck and a lot of F-150s all have the same payload.
Okay, what kind of truck do you have, Jess?
So I have the Chevy Silverado, or no, I don't. I have the Chevy Colorado
Yeah.
Trail Boss. Little.
And how does that differ from all the other Colorados? Because I thought those were...
It's lifted. It's wider, so it has a wider wheelbase. It has a little bit more oomph. The suspension's different, so it's just more capable than some other ones.
Yeah, it's turbo time.
Yeah, so what it can tow is it's a leader of the pack when it comes to mid-sized trucks, and
I can't believe what your turbos do for that thing.
dude, it is crazy because I have more torque than full-size trucks,
Right?
like V8s.
On paper, you can pull more than me.
Yeah, so it's really weird that my little truck. I mean, it's not really little. But my truck is more capable than a lot of other trucks.
Is that a 6 or a 4?
It's a 4-cylinder.
Oh,
It's a 4-cylinder, but it's a small block, but it's a big block for a 4-cylinder. I mean, it's a 2.7 liter 4-cylinder. So the pistons are bigger, they're huge.
yeah. So your truck's basically like the Napoleon of the truck world.
Yeah.
It's got a complex, but
And Chevy did some
can back
pretty
it
good
up.
stuff. I mean, Chevy did some really shocking stuff. And I wasn't just looking at the Chevy.
well, wasn't this Chevy's answer to
The-
compete with the Raptor?
Yeah,
the Ford Raptor.
It was the Ford Raptor. It was their let's take on this. I looked at the Raptor, and I was interested in the Raptor, and I was gonna get the Raptor, but every dealership that had one had like a $20,000 markup on it.
Yeah, overpriced.
And I'm sorry, I'm not gonna pay up. And I said, oh, there was one that he had exactly what I wanted. And
Raptors are for glam cowboys anyway.
and I really wanted it, but unfortunately, just the owner of the dealership was not going to budge no matter what. So I said, you know what, screw it. I went to Chevy and I said, this is what I want, make it happen. And they made it happen, and I got a really cool truck. And it's capable. You got to look at your payload, because your payload counts a lot, because your tongue weight
Yep.
comes out of your payload. So if you have a 600-pound tongue weight and you have a 15-pound limit or a 1,500-pound limit, you only have 900 more pounds to play with, and you don't want to use up your full
Right, and the
payload.
bed of your truck is empty, so now you need to figure that out. Not to mention that tongue weight will increase. Like my RV, I have a kitchen in the front, and once it's full with like your pots, your pans, your dishes, whatever, that's more weight.
Batteries,
Propane.
propane.
Right. I mean, that's more
Tanks.
weight on the tongue, and you
Yeah.
gotta. Right. And so, yeah, it's important to know those specs, because
Yeah.
Once you start to learn this stuff, you start to see some of the vehicles on the road. You're like, oh, you're asking for trouble.
Where was I? That were you with me? We were driving. And I swear that truck. It was a Dodge Ram pulling its camper, and its whole bed was filled up with wood. And I'm like, and that thing was sucking. It was a Dodge Ram pulling. I was like, oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, that's overweight.
No, I don't think I was with you on that one.
He was having a hard time go. I was like, oh man, but no, making sure that you have your tow vehicle that is more than capable. My camper weighs about 4,000 pounds, which is really light actually. And a little over 6,000 if the tanks are full and it's fully packed. So, and my truck can carry that, no tow that, no problem. And I got headroom still. So, and my tongue weight's about, I'd say about 700 pounds. My hitch can handle that.
Really? It seems a little heavy because I think mine's like around 760.
I round up with a fluid propane battery.
Oh, yeah.
So that's not dry weight. So it's so look at that, and like my truck can handle that. It's usually just me and my kid and the dogs. So that's not that much weight. So I got room to play with.
I wonder though if propane tanks aren't included.
No, they're not.
Are you sure?
They're not included in the dry weight.
Well, that's silly. Because they're all standardized. They are either 10, 20, 30-pound tanks. I mean, the weight is universal.
Yeah, no,
If you'd figure they would put that into the calculation, because how many people are going to randomly think and or know to just add that kind of weight,
Well, that's the problem I've learned. And then watching YouTube videos.
It's like the blind leading the blind.
Especially the Hanks. The Hanks learned that whole overweight they were.
Yeah.
And it's not just the Hanks, it's a lot of people I've learned that are like, oh shit. When they go to like a weigh station and they like weigh like their truck individually and their camper, then when they put it on there and they're like, holy shit, my tongue weight's a lot more than it should be.
And always remember, folks, that RV salesmen are far more excited to sell it to you than explain it to you.
They don't care about the vehicle you have. Yeah. You could go in there with the Saturn View.
A responsible dealership will say we're not going to hook it up for you.
There's dealerships out there, the Camping World.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I'm not saying all camping roads are bad, but there's camping roads out there that they don't care what you have. They'll sell you a fifth wheel for your motorcycle.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it comes down to people more than companies, I think.
And they don't care. A lot of dealerships, it is about the sale. It's not about after the sale.
I think there's more money in RV repair and upkeep than there is in the actual sales. But obviously you need to sell someone that RV before you can rake in all of those repair costs. But a lot of those repair costs are avoidable through doing research. And that is the thing. You definitely have to do a lot of... And you know what? Like, before the advent of YouTube and before RVing really got big, it was a smaller community,
It's grown. It's not what it used to be, but it has grown. And the things I've learned and the
You think it's shrunk?
It's not what it used to be. The style is not what it used to be. Now it's more spread out. It's more diverse. Like you got you always have your Class A's, which are like the buses. You have your Class C's, which are and then you have your Class B's now, which is the van life, and then that's a breed of its own. And then you have the travel trailers.
Class B.
You have travel trailers.
Class
you have
B.
fifth wheels, and fifth wheels are growing in population. You have, toy haulers. I think toy haulers are cool, but I feel like it's such a waste of a space.
You got to be about the toys. You really have to be about the toys if you get a toy hauler.
Because
you're going to sacrifice a lot of the comforts
and a lot of weights. And that's fifth wheels. I really like fifth wheels. Fifth wheels. I mean, you could tow it. You could tow a fifth wheel with. I mean, I advise you do your research when you buy a fifth wheel. You probably want a diesel.
If you weren't born with trucks, if you're not a truck dude or dudette, you should probably just skip that.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of unique. I saw one flipped over 2 days ago. So, I mean, don't be scared. That's one thing I've learned is people are scared or people don't give two shits, and then they go into it blind.
Ignorance is bliss.
I'm just gonna have fun, and then next thing you know, mistakes happen.
Ignorance is bliss until you get the bill.
Yeah, it's fun, and it's all fun and games until you don't know what you're doing, and you cause accident. Like my shit all over my face. You know.
Oh yeah, literally. I was like, wait, what? Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I learned.
The poopy face.
So pay attention to what you're doing. Campers, it's fun. You don't. There's not a lot you have to worry about. It's just simple stuff, and knowing your maintenance, maintaining your maintenance, making sure you pay attention to your tires.
Like anything new though, like there's that adjustment period. You have to learn this stuff. It's not hard. It's not complicated, but there is a lot of little details that it can make someone feel overwhelmed. I felt overwhelmed.
I feel
and I was really grateful to have you kind of help me with this, because I was like, man, I'm obsessing about all these little details. But at some point I let go and said, well, I'll just figure it out as I go. You know, like I've already learned all the basics and then some, you know, before even purchasing it. Well, but then, you know, putting it into practice is something different, as you learned, you know, with your honey wagon.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of things to learn. Like
there's watching a video, and then there's doing it, right?
There's a lot of things I've learned, and you know, a lot of people go in and they just want a camper, so they get something and they're like, oh, this is cool, and they don't really do research, and like, well, they don't realize the salesperson's not going to tell you what the tongue weight is. The salesperson is going to tell you that stuff usually. I had a very good sales lady, and I mean, she wasn't going to sell me anything because I already had my mind picked. I went in there with my mind picked, and I left with what I wanted.
Yeah, my sales rep did ask me what kind of vehicle I had, so
that's good. And it's so, I mean, my sales lady, she wasn't bad at all. She tried. I mean, there's other campers out there that are good. Some are bad. Some are good. It doesn't really matter. But one thing I was really big on is, Matt, how many axles do you have in your camper? Two. I have two. I wanted two from the start. There's a reason I wanted two, and you know.
Oh, I'm looking. I gotta go put my tire covers on.
Yeah, so
bought them like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Anyway,
so the reason I wanted to is flat tires happen a lot on campers, and you don't always realize something that's behind you. And so, if you get a flat, having a tandem axle really helps out, because you can still go a little bit. You can pull over the side. You're not gonna damage your camper. Another thing that happens when a tire blows is it'll blow off the sides of your camper. If it's, you know, when tires blow, it's not fun. And what I like about my camper is I got like a metal shield around it.
It's Gucci.
Yeah.
I mean, you bought from one of the best companies, if not the best company. So
yeah. So I mean, there's things to look out for. And back to like what you pull. My buddy has a camper. Him and his wife got a camper. He wanted something small like my Pathway. She wanted a bathroom. And they got this cute little camper. It's only like a little 13-foot camper. It's got a bed. It's got a table and a refrigerator and a bathroom, like a shower, bathroom. And he has a little Kia or Hyundai. And it's like its max towing is like 3,000 pounds. And that's not bad for something small. But I'm like, I open up his door when I get to his house, to the Kia, and I'm looking like, well, the payload is very low. It's like very, very low. And I'm like, don't ever put you and the kids and the trailer on here. I'm like, that thing has got a bottom out. And no, he's learned, and so he's getting a truck.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so know your stuff, but do a little bit of research and don't go things in blind. And you know, my buddy, he's not dumb by any means. He's really smart. He's intelligent. But we all make mistakes.
That always helps.
Sometimes we get ahead of ourselves. But
mistakes are how you learn. Fact.
That is how you learn.
Because you're never going to spray yourself with sewage again, are you?
Oh, screw you. I learned from other people's mistakes usually too.
Yeah.
That was me getting too cocky though. I was like, I got this shit. I did have that shit.
Yeah, you did.
So I mean, you got to pay attention to the little things, the big things, the small things, and you got to have fun. Like the one thing I got something for my camper I think is cool. I don't know if you think it's cool. I like it. I think it's cool.
I'm on the fence.
You're on the fence. So I got a dishwasher for like really cheap, and it's a countertop dishwasher. Because I was like, you know what? I got small gray tanks and small black tanks, and I do my dishes, and they're full. So, and then my son takes like 4 hour long showers.
Yeah, and you like to shower in your camper.
Yeah.
I opt to go use the campground facilities.
Yeah, well, that's a choice that people
Well,
make.
and it's weird because people have different preferences. Some people want to use the shower house and the bathrooms only, so they don't have to do their tanks. And that's if you have that option, it's a great option. I prefer to shower up there, but if I'm going to use the privy, like I'm going to use my camper. I don't care about
Now-
having to empty the tanks.
I respect that, but what is something that my camper is really good at that your camper's not good at?
I don't know, but I'm sure you'll tell me.
Boondocking.
Yeah, we mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit more boondocky than his is. I can run for a little bit.
That's right. My bedroom has enough room for a friend.
Yeah, well, I get it. I could probably fit someone else there. Me and my kid and the dog.
Well, I hope
sit
she's
in the bedroom.
into cuddling because that's the only option. There's no rollover space.
I mean, there is.
I mean, you could roll over, but you're still doing butt snuggles.
There's nothing wrong with butt snuggle.
That's true. I do like butt snuggles.
But I like it though, and I like the fact that I wanted a 7 foot wide and not an 8 foot wide. Sometimes the 8 foot wide in my head is like, oh, I wish I had 8 feet wide. But then again, going off the road somewhere, and then pulling it, I'm not that big of a sail.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, that just goes back to the fact that you need to know what you want to be doing.
Yeah. Like, I went in there with knowing what I wanted.
Right.
So.
Well, and I sold my home. You still have your house.
Yeah.
So I wanted the extra living space. And I'm doing it solo, but it is a couples camper. So, ladies,
Ladies,
if you are
he's
interested,
looking.
don't worry, I'll find you. But yeah, and
He'll travel in his travel trailer.
yeah. But no, and I mean, like I said, starting out at the campground seasonally, I decided to do that because I wanted to learn
The in and outs.
right, and the repair guy when he came out here, his advice was to, I don't remember how we got on the topic, but we did, of just testing every system to the max. I think it started with, we were talking about, we weren't sure if the city water was going to have too much flow, if we should put a flow gauge on there and restrict the pressure. Pretty sure yours has one built in.
Yeah.
Which is nice. But he's like, test everything. And especially because depending on what warranty you have, everybody usually has like a 90-day warranty window. So push everything to the limits, And you and I are going through that right now.
Well, I am.
But I want to, so I want to do that. I want to learn these systems. And I want to get comfortable with it before I cross state lines. Now, winter is coming. So, and honestly, I feel like I could pull out tomorrow and I'd be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think I've been at this full time for about 2 months now. So.
And I think you've done a really good job at adapting. Besides your black tank.
Yeah, it needs a...
You're affecting the whole campground. We all smell your shit.
well, okay, right. So, like I said, maybe I didn't say this, but I'll just say it again. My camper has a siphon, like a chimney for my black tank, so that the gases will kind of just slowly get blown away or whatever and not fill the camper. But
It doesn't build up methane.
But when you let your tank sit for, from beginning to end, about 2 weeks, and it cooks in the middle of
weeks.
Yeah, in the middle of summer. That siphon acts as a chimney, and if there's more gases and there's more wind, there was just like a plume.
It's like a brewery.
It's like
fermenting your shit.
It's like Milwaukee in the 1800s.
Well, there's a reason why, and I think you realized today. Like if I'm leaving, I drain my tanks. There's always been a reason on why I did that. I drain my tanks, I'd unhook things, I'd turn things off, and you don't really leave because you live in your camper,
right? And I hadn't planned on being gone that long. It just kind of happened.
Kind of just like called me like, hey, how you doing?
Right.
I'm gonna stop by for a day.
But next time I'm leaving for a few days and I'm not sure of my exact return date, I know what I'm doing. I just added something else to the checklist.
I learned it from other people's mistakes.
Because
Well,
guys, sleeping in a poopy camper is not cool.
yeah, that's right. You did sleep in there with it smelling like that.
Well, what is I gonna do? I mean,
I would have.
I had one Bic lighter, and I'm pretty sure I burnt all the fuel out in it because I was just trying to burn it off. Like,
I don't know if I would have done that. I would have felt like that would have been a kaboom.
yeah. Well, and I added more of that smell good black tank solution to help break it down and whatnot. But whatever, it's emptied.
I know tomorrow you have a plan to
Clean
do it all over again. Clean it
Yeah.
out.
Throw a bunch of dish soap down there and
Hopefully
fill
that
the water
works.
and flush
I
it.
really hope that fucking
Right,
works.
because if I have suds in my camper, you're gonna come over and help me clean it up.
Well, that's why I told
But you
to
said
put
you saw this online, right?
No.
I thought you said you learned this hack or this tip from
I
one of
learned
those
a-
many YouTube
I'll
channels.
learn a hack, but
Are you just telling me to throw dish soap down there and see what happens?
dish soap, dial dish soap, because it'll break down greases and everything. That's what I'm saying. But put a towel over your toilet, then close it, so if anything does come up, because that's the only place your black tank will come up from.
Well, I don't think the suds would penetrate the little closed toilet
I'm just
hole
saying safer
thing.
than sorry.
Yeah.
But no, if you just dump a whole thing of dial in there and fill it up with water and let it sit.
If I close my lid, those suds will just come out the edge. It's not like a tight seal or anything.
So
Well, anyways, there's plenty of ways to do it. So, I would imagine that most RVs, if not all of them, that any ones that are being used today have a black tank flush valve.
yeah.
So,
Well, you were excited when you saw that you had one.
well, I was like, oh, you have one, but you have a Winnebago, so you have things I don't.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's got to be standard, right? And you're like, well, I don't know. And I was like, oh, geez, I don't know if he's being serious or just jerking my chain here. But I'm like thinking, I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure that the RV dealership told me. They're like, oh, yeah, like, this is how you do this, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, discovered that. I mean, and since I've been fumigating my dang self for a hot minute, I'm really glad that I have the flush capability. So, again, I'm new at this. Some people, if you're listening and you're more experienced, I really hope you're having a laugh at some of these things, because we do too now. I mean, it's like, oh yeah, we're not veterans, but like we'll see some folks coming in and like, you're doing that wrong. I mean, I won't say it to them because they gotta figure it out, but
It is fun learning
Unless it's
things
catastrophic.
and seeing things and everything like that. I it's learning lessons, and I'm glad you're learning it here
yeah.
instead of on the road, because I feel you get a little bit worked out when it's like because sometimes you get very discouraged. And I remember saying before you even got your camper, just remember, maybe you should go somewhere, do camp for a bit so you don't get discouraged.
No, that was my idea. Screw you, guy.
Well, I
That
told you, I
that
said,
was
let's
my
go.
plan. You said, let's go west
Let's
again.
go.
Let's go. Let's
did.
go. We need to go at least 1,000 miles. Why do we have campers if we're not leaving the dang state?
I did say that. I'm like,
So-
quit being a bitch and let's go.
Yeah, and I had to do it my way. But no, the other thing I wanted to say, I really like what I like about the community too is
I even said I'd pay.
if you're learning about something, you can look around to your left and your right, and you're going to be able to identify your seasoned campers easily. And you can just go up to these guys and ask questions. Most of them.
You know what I've learned? You can ask anybody, and everybody's willing to help you out.
Right.
Everybody. There's not been one person I've met that's
Right.
you're on your own.
No, there's just what I'm saying is there's some people you're like, yeah, I'm going to go ask the other neighbor. I don't want to go talk to that
Yeah.
guy.
They might smoke you out of your camper.
Because you do get some colorful people,
Unique.
like some weirdos. I'll just say it.
There's some unique people out
You get
there.
some weirdos.
I'm not about the van life. I won't be part of it. It's too small for me.
Yeah.
I'm a tall person. The van life is not. I've met some very unique people. I've met some very cool people. But van life, it's like hit or miss. But it's a whole. It's not the same as.
I don't need the finest things, but I do like my basic creature comforts.
The van life people, it's really a different breed, and I feel it's a
It
lot
is.
more.
It's a different style.
Yeah,
There's a different
it's
attraction
a lot more
to
expensive. It's a lot more expensive for a lot less.
it. Well, anything in the RVing world, whether it's van camping or pull
RVing is
behinds,
not
like,
cheap.
well, no, but it can be as cheap. It can be as expensive or as inexpensive as you want. Depends on what you're willing to deal with or
Yes.
live without with. Because so one of the things that I learned is that not all, but a lot of campgrounds, especially ones that have high traffic, they have a rule, and you told me this,
Yeah.
that any camper older than 10 years is not permitted on some of these in some of these places. Because of things like degradation of your black tanks, so it could be a what do you call that? A sanitary issue.
Yeah.
And you know,
Eyesore as well.
right. You know, if it's got mold on the outside, you know, you need to wash your outsides because I mean, I don't know what it is about the material, but then also being on the road,
yeah, it likes to
like you're
get
running into
dirty and it
bugs.
shows it.
Right, you get tree sap. Like, I mean, that's why I got the extra protection, the exterior protection. It's supposed to
Yeah, I
help
think
with
you
like
bought everything
love
possible.
bugs. I did. Well, I mean, it's my new home, so I wanted, you know, all the protection and coverage. It's not like I'm just taking it out for a week or two here and there during the summer months.
Let's get on that conversation about protecting our campers. Like, I chose not to get the extended warranty for a reason.
Yeah.
I think it's an expense that's kind of overkill. For me, in a way, I'm utilizing my warranty I have right now.
And you still have your home and stuff too.
I still have my home, and my insurance will cover anything and everything that could ever go wrong with my camper. I don't want to pay the deductible. I mean, the deductible's not that much. It's only like $100, but it'll cover anything on my camper. But you have to know what your camper has when you're getting things covered. My suspension is not the same as a lot of other people's suspension.
And you have to know what is covered. And you have to know how they cover it. You have to take it into their shop. Will they send someone out to you? If they will send someone out to you, you have to be in with a certain radius of an authorized retailer.
Unless if you buy yours from Coons in Appleton, Wisconsin.
Well, okay, yeah, whatever.
It's really weird that they're willing to drive
That's the
pretty
exception,
far.
not the rule.
It's the fact that they're willing to come all the way out here. I love it.
Well,
It's
you're
really nice.
I mean, you're on the edge of their range.
Yeah, well, the range is like 50 miles.
Yeah.
And dude, I'm a lot further than 50 miles away.
Yeah, didn't your repair guy said, let me know if anything else breaks, because he's just like, hey, it's a day trip for me.
Yeah,
I love
it's
the
a little trip for him, a day
Yeah.
off. I mean, he likes to kick it, and he's like, he likes coming out here.
Yeah.
And so
Well, that's got to be what, 5-hour round trip?
6 hours.
Is it?
Yeah, about he's like 6.5 hours.
Right. So he gets here and he's like, I need to solve this in 2 hours.
He's like, they only allotted when they're fixing the back where we thought it was a screw, and he's like, I only got it's a lot of Winnebago said it should only take 2 hours, and he said, hey, I'm going to hit it from the outside because I don't want to take out the whole inside. Like, only 2 hours, like.
Yeah, he was really competent. He's a great source of information.
He's really good. I like him, and the fact that I keep getting him, I'm actually happy about.
You should get his number. We have like an inside track to just be like,
We
hey,
should have him on the podcast.
Oh, yeah, that would be cool.
That'd be pretty cool to have him on the podcast.
He could tell and teach people
Oh,
things that we
his
probably won't
knowledge
even
is
learn in the
fun,
next.
and it's
He's been in the industry. I think he said like over 20 years or something like that.
He enjoys it. He worked at another place and went to Coons, and but insurance, warranty, those are things you want to pay attention to. Make sure you have it. If there is a thing at the bottom of your paperwork you're filling out when you're getting campered, it says you can't sue them or anything like that. Don't sign that paperwork. That was like that. If the Coons would have brought that up to me, and said, "Oh, well, you can't sue us if this happens or this happens," I'm like, "Nope."
Oh, I signed that paper.
You had that paper? I did not have that paper.
I did have that paper.
I did not. I was like, well, if something breaks and you don't want to fix it, you got to protect yourself and your property. So,
yeah,
that's my recommendation to people. But insurance, warranty, call a lot. Like mine even says right.
Well, I mean,
there
I
in the
guess you
door.
can call that bluff because they have one of two options. You can not sign the paper and they'll still sell you the camper, or depending on the dealership and their policies, they'll be like, well, fine. We'll still sell you the camper, and you don't have to sign it. But
it's like a lot of things that Winnebago has a 24/7.
But I mean, like, why wouldn't you why wouldn't you back your product? I mean, even the repairman has said that the construction quality has gone down considerably over the last.
Since
Yeah.
COVID, the quality on a lot of campers has gone down, and it's every camper, it's every RV,
Right.
it's every motorhome, it's every Class C, it's every Class B. The quality has gone down. Now,
Right.
I believe Winnebago and Grand Design and a lot of those. Well, I mean, Grand Design is owned by Winnebago, but I feel that those companies have are back to where they are. There's some little things. The only thing in my camper that has actually broke is the guide for my sliding door. That's the only thing I've had actually break on my camper.
Sliding door.
Yeah, my sliding the bedroom.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
It's this little plastic thing,
Your
and it's
your pocket door for your
Yeah.
bedroom. Yeah.
so that's the only thing I've had. But if you look at my door on my camper, it says Winnebago 24-hour roadside assistance, and it's nice having
Yeah.
that.
But that's something else too in coverages. Like between the extended warranty and then my progressive policy, like you could have 3 different kinds of roadside assistance, and some they're not all created equal. And I was impressed though that insurance rates are very cheap.
Yeah, no, they're not that bad, and I think you had a higher.
Well, my rate is
deductible
higher
at
because
first.
wait, what?
You had a higher deductible at first, and
Yeah, I just slapped generic coverage so I could pull it off the lot, and then I wanted to learn more about the various coverages because obviously it's different than auto, and I wanted to know what I didn't want to cheap out on and what was maybe not necessary. So, and then I busted my awning and was like, I should get on that. So yeah, I mean, even when you have very low deductibles, it's very affordable in my opinion. And I'm by no means do I have a lot of money,
Yeah.
but to have that peace of mind and to know that if something breaks, I only have to pay $250 out of pocket. I think you go down to like $100.
yeah, that's what I have.
Yeah,
But to
and I
me,
might even go there, but like it's
to me, it was extended warranty it was what, $5,000
I think mine was under.
for 5 years.
It
or
was
something
like just over 4. We'll say around 4,500,
for
4,200
what,
somewhere.
3 years, and
No, it depended on what it was.
yeah,
So like most things was 3 years. Things that are a little bit more integral, like your tanks and stuff, I think that's 5 years. And then things like your frames, your frame, your axles, and other major things like maybe your heating.
yeah,
I think that went out to that was either 5 or 7
Yeah.
years. But some things did go out to 7 years. But I mean, to be honest, with what my mortgage was, if I budget to pay my camper like I was paying my mortgage, it'll be paid off in 2 years.
yeah,
And and I got 3 years of coverage, and I plan on doing this for a minute because I want to get it out of my system. It's a good time to do it. I'm not married. I don't have any kids.
ladies.
Not yet, anyway. But maybe that's what the couple's camper is gonna bring me. Yeah, just not too soon, please. But no. So the timing works. It's affordable. Like it's comparable to the mortgage thing. I mean, it is a leap of faith.
Yeah.
I mean, because love it or hate it, like you're stuck, and
Well, you're not
if you don't,
stuck.
well, no. If you don't pay for it out of pocket per se, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, yeah, I could make this work where I travel during the summer, and
Or you go down south
it.
in the summer or the winter.
well, in the winter for sure, that's what I'm going to do as
Yeah.
I'm doing it full time. But yeah, if I got a job or something, I could still
You could live
swing
in
an
a-
apartment and the RV payments and everything else. But I mean, I had been thinking about this / fantasizing about it for like 2-3 years. Like it wasn't just I'm gonna do this overnight. Yeah. So it is both exciting and scary. But it's true what they say. Like if your dreams don't scare you, they're probably not big enough.
Yeah, probably not the dreams you need.
Yeah.
And so Well, what separates me from you is I looked at it and I was like, well, my insurance covers everything that could go wrong with a camper. And I was like, I did the math, how much it cost a year. I was like, well, okay, well, how much is insurance? Okay, $100. So I just said, well, $100 plus what it costs a year for insurance. And like I said, my insurance will cover everything. So as long as I maintain my camper, I should never get denied for insurance claim. And I was like, okay, well, how much does a warranty cost?
I'm sure there are plenty of people out there with stories, though.
So I know people with stories.
The coverage looks great on paper, but it's still progressive, which means you have to deal with progressive. And depending on who you get, like, I mean, it depends on what it is, too. It could either be walk in the park and you're like, thank goodness I got this coverage. Or it could be something as simple as like me, where it's like the awning is not so expensive, it's worth to file a claim. And because it was basically deemed operator error, the dealership said, screw you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it still works, but if I want a new awning and I want the awning I want, I'm probably looking at $2,000.
About $2 to $3 grand.
And I mean, that's conditional on the awning I want. If I wanted to replace it and do it myself or have a friend help, then it would probably cost me $1,200.
Yeah.
That's including shipping, but shipping is expensive. So
Yeah, they replaced the awning with just the parts that are broken. It's not that expensive, and it's something that you could easily fix.
But since it's just a sunshade, I'm parked under some trees, so I don't have to worry about that.
You don't have to worry about that. You can always.
I don't have to worry about the sap either because I got the extra protection.
Yeah. The camper life is camper life is a life for me. I have my house, but I like camping. I like getting out there, having fun, meeting new people. It's something that I can enjoy, and I know that Matthew over here has enjoyed it. My son enjoyed it. I go on trips. When I was out to Custer State Park out in South Dakota, I met a lot of people. Some people were in campers. Some people were sleeping in the trunks of their Honda, or no, it was Toyota, the electric one.
Right.
Yeah, and it's some people were sleeping in the bed of their truck. Some people had rooftop tents. Some people, and just enjoying themselves.
Yep.
Just don't be that person with the generator.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't be
gas
that person
generator,
with the generator
just going and just
loud as all hell in the middle of the night. Bong. Because I'll unplug your shit.
I'll pee in your gas tank.
I can't stand that shit. When I'm trying to sleep and all night long, I can't stand it. Invest and do a...
Yeah, don't be that inconsiderate ass.
So me, I like being off. I don't like being connected to stuff. And going out the generator.
Or like playing nighttime cornhole at 11 p.m.
I mean...
Big old acoustic sound box, just... the cornhole game where they're throwing the beat. That's what that was. Yeah, they were tossing beanbags, playing cornhole.
Thunk, thunk. It sounded like someone's chopping wood at like fucking midnight.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's basically a guitar. I
was like, who's chopping wood? Midnight?
Would you please score better so I don't have to hear as many?
I was like, it's cornhole, not. But no, I heard that thumping, and it's like hearing a generator. And having a generator is nice if you're boondocking sometimes. But the one thing about boondocking, having a gas-powered generator or a propane, they make sound,
right?
And you have to carry extra fluid with you. You got to carry the gas. You got to carry that propane. And for boondocking, if you don't want to boondock, that's okay. Like me, I want to be able to just go somewhere and just stop it. National forest.
We have a nice little mobile solar panel field that you set up.
I have on my pathway.
You put your solar panels out, and they almost have the same footprint as your camper. It's hilarious.
They're big. They're not light either.
No, they're not.
They're not light. They're big, but they pull in a lot of power, and they create more power from the sun than I'm using. And so my other camper, my Pathway XR, I have a solar system set up for that as well. And so I have a solar generator, and I didn't need it. I needed it, but I didn't.
Weren't you generating too much power for your camper, and now you need a new battery controller or something?
Yeah, no, it was installed backwards. So it's causing the solar on the camper that I have. 'Cause my camper comes with solar and battery, and it should have a lithium battery in the dealership. I said the one thing they
Yeah,
should have given me a lithium battery. They gave me an acid battery,
cheaping
an
out and
acid
giving you
battery,
an
and
acid.
solar, like
Me
a
too.
bad mixture. And the solar panels, and I'm not a fan of the 12-volt solar panels. They just don't make that much power, and they're not that efficient as like a 48-volt solar panel. But it was giving me way too much power, causing the controller to turn off, and so my battery would die. And I do have some batteries on pre-order. I'm excited about. Just to be able to boondock and not have to pull out the battery stuff. So if there's no sun, I got battery for days. Or if I want to stealth camp at like Walmart or a Love's or something like that, I don't have to put up my slide out. I got power. I can turn on the TV.
Out in the middle of nowhere. I know
Yeah.
it's actually nice to see the stars again.
Yeah.
Get away from all that light pollution.
And when I have,
But you can go deep and dark. I mean, you can go visit Sasquatch.
Well, I am Sasquatch. But you can go boondocking with I have the Acre Solus F2600 as a solar generator, and with two 400-watt solar panels, which will create. I mean, I've got a more power than the solar panels are rated.
But those are heavy panels, and you have to include those into your calculations.
I do. So when I store them in the back of the camper because it takes weight off the front of the camper. There's ways you can work around things on your camper.
Yeah.
You just got to learn how math works.
Yeah, but you don't want too much weight in the rear.
You don't want too much
Not
weight.
that you're running into that problem.
No, I don't have that issue at all. No. But the solar panels is nice because when I said that, it was yesterday, I said I can run my camper for more than 2 weeks off of this thing without having solar connected if I don't have my AC on. And I mean, I could turn it on here and there, but if I just have the solar panels out,
now you just need the right battery so you don't blow it up.
Oh no, my solar generator, I'll be fine how it is.
Well, I'm talking about. No, I'm not. I'm talking about
when I go complete boondocking with no solar. I have my batteries coming. I'm excited about that. My stackables. So I have to get an inverter for inside the camper. I'm debating if I want to. That's a whole different story. So if you want to go boondocking and you want to use your outlets and certain things, like my camper, I have my refrigerators at 12 volts. Everything in my camper is 12 volts.
Yeah, when you took your Pathway camper out, like there was a Navy veteran you met who had been doing. Well, I don't know what he was living out of.
Traveling.
But he went nomadic.
Yeah.
Oh, in his electric car.
In his electric car.
Yeah. Talk about roughing it.
He went across the country from Connecticut.
Yeah.
From Connecticut, and I think his name is James.
But he had been doing it for a while, and I remember he was very impressed with your solar panel setup.
He was like, I told him he charged his car for my solar panels, and it was
what? No way.
It was funny. He had a battery bank in his car too. I think this was a Jackery, and he had like 2 or 3 solar 200-watt solar panels, and he was all complaining. I pull out these huge things, and he said, "Well, what are those?" And I'm like, "They're sails." So no, I told him, I said, "I got power if you want to use my power," but and so I let him use my power, and he let me use his Starlink internet, and it was nice. It was fun, and
Starlink's great, by the way. We both have it now.
It is. I highly recommend it if you need to be connected to the internet.
A
lot of people these days.
It's got to be a need though, because it's like depending on the plan, I think it's like $120 to $150 a month.
Yeah, it's gotten more expensive since I had it the first time. $50 more expensive, but they have the new one.
Say la vie.
They have the mini, and you can order that now. I think that satellite dish itself is only $200, and I think a month it's $40. But you are limited on speeds, and you're limited on how many gigs you can use. But you always pay more and get more. SpaceX is awesome.
Hashtag America.
Pay
more, get more. America.
But no, I recommend it if you have that. A lot of people are using it. A lot of the van life people are using SpaceX's Starlink, and a lot of them are doing their. I've seen people who are gamers who stream on Twitch and shit like that, using Starlink inside their van, and they got their little YouTube videos and
Yeah, don't expect to be doing that from the Rockies. Well, maybe the Rockies because you're up high and it'll be clear.
Starlink.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Space.
but
You
whatever.
can see the sky. I'm pretty sure you'll be okay.
Yeah, trees are a thing. Can be a thing. I mean, because if you have obstructions, your speeds are going to go down.
They go down. You still get.
But the
connection,
app
though.
is great. It tells you, what you can expect from the signal that you have, whether it's just like web browsing and emailing, or if you could do like, oh my goodness, what is it called? Like video chat. There we go.
Online video gaming.
Streaming and then video gaming, and
Yeah.
there's like 4 different tiers, and it's great because you use your phone and you use your camera and you actually scan the sky around you, and it tells you like where to put it. Oh no, you need to adjust it 7 degrees east, and like it's so foolproof. And it's the app makes it cool. I gotta say the app. I was like, man,
The
this
app
is
fun.
this
but
is
annoying
me
sometimes.
proof. It's me proof.
On iOS, on iPhone, sometimes you got to close it and reopen it, close it and reopen it. But what I love, and I brag about this every time I get back up here, because when I leave, I pack up everything, and I was like I'm not coming back for a year. I pack up everything, and whenever I put back up my Starlink, lay it out, I always lay it down perfectly where it's supposed to be pointing, like perfectly. And I get so proud, and I go over to Matt's camper, and I put my Starlink exactly how it's supposed to be. I didn't have to use the app, and I was like, who cares? But me, I care.
Well, it's like a little video game. I don't care. It's fun.
No, it really is. And I mean, you haven't moved yours in months, and
That's not true. I move it every week that they mow,
Well, I mean,
and then I put it back out. I've been doing that for like 3 weeks now. It's simple.
only 3 weeks.
Where I'm moving it consistently?
Yeah.
Maybe 3, 4. I don't know. I've only been at this 2 months, so there's not a lot of.
3 months now, actually.
Not for me.
Yeah.
No.
Get your camper in May.
No, I got it in June.
June?
June.
Was it June?
June. And it doesn't matter how long I had it. We got here June 20th. So we're coming up on 2 months.
2 months. I mean, the deal we got for being here is pretty good.
Oh my goodness. My rent is $200 a month. And then I do get a utility bill for electrical, but
Still wait up, but I mean, from the electric.
it's not like a whole house. My old house was 2,600 square feet. It has a decent sized house, and it's real easy to run up an electricity bill there. But I mean, this you just do whatever, whenever, and it's still sub 100.
You gotta remember that your lights inside the camper are 12-volt lights.
Yeah,
So
I mean
they're not using
everything's
very much
low
power.
profile, but
12-volt can't use more than 150 watts of power.
and I crank my AC. Heck yeah.
Yeah, you do. I turn mine off a lot.
I don't mind sweating outside. It's just when I'm in the camper, I don't want to be sweating anymore.
No, I turn
and
mine
I sweat.
off a lot. My kid complains.
Yeah, you do. You hotbox this thing, man. I'm coming in here like, what is it? It's warmer inside than it is outside. It's like a sauna or.
But I'm preparing myself to go boondocking, so it's like, can I do it? Is it manageable? Can I do this?
Well, at least get yourself a fan.
I do. It's in my ceiling. I need to replace those. I'm gonna get an Air Max fan. So the ceiling fans, those things are horrible. If I had to say one thing I don't like about my camper, it's that fan. It is so cheap. It's this big, huge thing you can put up,
it's garbage.
And you get this little PC computer fan in there.
Yeah, it's garbage. It's
I'm like, really? You give me top
a light
line
breeze
all-
of
all
3
this
miles an hour is gonna nullify that
And
fan.
it's like, if there's one thing I complain about, it's that. Well, that and that was a mattress. The mattress in here wasn't that bad,
Yeah,
but I switched it out.
yeah.
But it wasn't the original one I wanted. The original one I wanted was the new camp. I forgot what it was called. The 400, the Tab 400,
Yeah, whatever.
the Tab 400 XL.
New camp. The other
Boondock. Yep.
Gucci freaking trailers.
I felt like this would be more fitting, more suitable, more capable. Yet the other one came with stuff I had to buy for this one. So, but in the guy, honestly, what it was is the guy didn't call me back. And
Well, I know how you are a stickler on customer service.
yeah, so I mean, he said I'm gonna call you tomorrow morning, and we'll figure it out. You can come out here, and I never got that phone call. And I'm like, all right, well, screw you. I'll find someone who
Right.
also wants my.
Which is weird because usually when a dealership gets a hold of your number, they
They-
won't stop calling until
Yeah.
you buy.
And it's like, I'm looking at this, I want this, and he had what I wanted, and you know what I wanted. It was they're nice, but I mean, I've also wanted a Winnebago, and I've always wanted a Winnebago.
Well,
so.
now you got yourself a mini Winnie.
I got one of the two things I've always wanted. So, and I've been wanting to do this since I joined the military. So, since I was a kid, actually, I'm like, I'm gonna go travel the world, and now I get to bring my kid with, and my dog and my puppy, and
Yeah, you have an entourage.
I got the circus, man.
Yeah.
I got a circus. It's fun. It's enjoyable. Having Starlink is nice. I can sit back if it's raining outside because it has done that a lot this year. But yeah, no, with the upcoming episodes, I think we'll do a little bit more talk about the camping and everything else. Maybe have some guests on. It's been a while since we've had that. And you guys have to let us know. Make sure you follow us, subscribe, keep tuned with us. Tell us what you want. What kind of camper you have. What kind of camper you want. What kind of camping you like. And if it's not just camping, we're everything. We talk about everything. We want to listen to you. And, we want to learn what you got to teach us. And we'll teach you what we can.
And if you want to make fun of us, would love that too.
Yeah, I know.
Hear any anecdotes that you have.
Dumping shit on yourself.
Yeah.
I don't recommend it, but I mean, it's an option. Just want to let you know that it's been good for this episode, and I've had fun, and I look forward to talking to you guys again, and thanks for listening. So, till next time, is there anything else you want to throw out there, man?
Nah, man. Just everybody be good. Take her easy. Go for it.
Yeah, no, that's my plan. So, till then, next time, this is Gest, and that's Matt.
Yes, it is.
And I'll catch you.
Later, guys.
Bye.